Welcome to Off the Record News. I'm your host, Diana Longrie. Thank you for tuning in. Now I have with me tonight Liz Kuoppala. She's been on the program in the past. She's the Executive Director of Minnesota Coalition for the Homeless. And she's going to talk tonight a little bit about her organization, but we're also going to specifically address the issue of homelessness as it affects children.
We had the legislature in a bipartisan effort last session said, let's study, because we know so much more about brain development and just the healthy development of children, especially these 0 to 3-year-olds. So they said, let's study what would it take if we wanted to figure out how to make sure we're serving these kids the best we can in Minnesota. What would it take? And so they had this group of experts come who know all about early childhood and all this stuff. And of course, what they came up with was we need housing stability for these children.
That's right.
And we need to make sure they're getting into these early childhood programs, into good programs and learning, instead of living in crisis and chaos. And so we have that for the early children. And then we know also that you have another brain spurt of development as a teenager. And that's the other segment of the homeless population that is just growing faster than anyone could even imagine, I think. And so what we're trying to do is go to the legislature this session and say, let's invest some. We know what programs work. We've been doing this now in Minnesota since 1984. Homeless service providers in many communities across the state. We know what works, and I can tell you what works. I mean, what we know is that if we can prevent homelessness before it happens, that's best. On average in the metro area here, it costs $600 to prevent an episode of family homelessness. It costs $30,000 if we end up sheltering this family for a year and all of the related services that come with that kind of crisis.
Think about that disparity.
600 versus 30,000.
Oh, man. And it's just even that statistic alone should be enough to make people double take and say, okay, we really should take a look at the upfront prevention. Yep.